Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Rich Reviews. Today I'd like to do a little comparison on two of, in my opinion, the best hammer drills on the market, both of which I have. The first is the P86116 Ridgid hammer drill, and I'm going to compare that to the P251 Ryobi hammer drill. Now, both are very similar in a lot of ways, and both are very different in a lot of ways. One of the major differences is the torque rating on both of them is 750 inch-pounds of torque for both. But the adjustment for the torque is extremely different. On the Ryobi, it has a 24 position clutch. I have it on the maximum right now at 24. However, on the Ridgid, it has a 100 position clutch. Of course, I'm set on the maximum on that too. Now, the difference is this is going to have more torque rating for a lot of different variety of screws, sizes, whatever. So that's basically, really that's the major difference on this compared to this. Everything else is fairly similar. I'm just going to explain some of the differences. In terms of size, you can see they're fairly close in size. Ridgid is slightly higher and slightly longer, mainly because the chuck, both of them have a metal chuck. The chuck on the Ryobi is a little more coned, I guess you want to say, as you can see, where the Ridgid is more flat. So it tends to stick out just a little bit more. Not much of a difference there. They both have the gearbox setting on the top. 1 and 2 settings. Of course, 1 is going to be for your highest torque setting, and 2 is going to be more for speed and driving in quicker. Both have LED lights. The Ridgid is larger and I feel a little more bright. It also has 2 ways of adjusting or turning on the light. Both will turn on if you depress the trigger, to start the drill, and they'll both stay on for a few seconds. However, the Ridgid has another feature. If you just wanted to use the light, as opposed to pressing the trigger to turn on, there's a separate button right here. It's a little hard. Now you can see it right there. So if you press that, you can see the light goes on. The Ryobi doesn't have that. There's only one way of turning that on, and that's to press in the trigger. But again, they'll both stay on. Either way, they'll both stay on for a few seconds before shutting off. They both have 3 positions: your drill mode, your driver mode, and your hammer mode. Now on the Ryobi, it has the settings on the top here. This is your switch to set it. The Ridgid though has it on both sides, so kind of ambidextrous, depending. It really doesn't make that much of a difference, and when you set one side, the other one sets automatically because they're exactly opposite. So in other words, if you set one position to hammer mode on that side, it automatically sets it to hammer mode on this side because now it's up top instead of on the bottom. So it doesn't matter which way you decide to set it. They're going to be the same on both sides. So that's again, that's one of those slight little differences. Now, one of the other differences is the auxiliary handles that come with it. The Ryobi has one way to set the handle. In here, you put the screw through here, and the handle screws onto it. Now, you could put it on either side, depending on which hand you are, but it only has one setting. However, on the Ridgid, the handle, hold on for a minute, let me show you on this. Now, right now I can't find the handle for my Ryobi one, but like I said, the one on the Ryobi one simply goes through here, and you can position it on either side. But the Ridgid has a couple of different ways you can use this. It attaches to the top and screws on like this. Just screw it on there, and it tightens up on it. Now you can set that on either side like that, but you can also set this on the side like this, or on the other side, or down here. So there's a couple of different ways you can use this depending on the angle that you're using it. So that's kind of unique for that. The batteries, at least the ones that I have on here, they're both the same in terms of the ampage. They are both 1.5 amp hour batteries. However, the way they are installed or put into the drill is different. The Ridgid has a slider pack, so it just slides into there like that. You have 2 buttons here to release it, and this also has the fuel gauge on it. Shows you how much battery life you have. Now the Ryobi, it also has a fuel gauge on it, but the installation of it is different. This shoves in on the bottom. You know, it has 2 buttons on the side, same as that, to release it, but instead of sliding it on, this one actually pushes into the handle. And they are both 1.5 amp hour. Now, both companies offer higher rated batteries. You know, I think the Ridgid goes, the Ryobi goes up to a 9 amp hour, and I think the Ridgid does too, if I'm correct. I don't have any of the real high amp hour batteries. The biggest one I have is for this, and that's a 4 amp hour. I don't have any of the higher ones. And of course, they both have your forward and reverse buttons on the side. Same, no difference there. And that's pretty much it. So very similar hammer drills. Both are very good, you know, for driving in your basic screws up to drilling into concrete or mortar or anything like that. I think you'll be happy with either one. They are less expensive than the, say, DeWalt or Milwaukee, but again, those are also graded more for the tradesmen, or contractors. That's what I was trying to say. These, well, at least Ryobi is geared more towards the homeowner DIYer. That's mainly what their tools are for. Now the Ridgid, on the other hand, they're priced well enough for the homeowner to buy, where you're not breaking the bank to get tools, but these also are graded for contractors. Now I don't know if they will hold up as well as, say, a Milwaukee or a DeWalt overall, and time-wise or whatever, but they are built very solid, and they are a little more solid than Ryobi. I will say that. Not a lot, but as far as if you were going into contracting work, I would probably go with Ridgid over the Ryobi, simply for the fact that these are a little more well built. Again, not saying that the Ryobi is junk, because I own most of my tools that I own are Ryobi, and I love them. And again, I'm not a contractor. I am a homeowner. I am a DIYer. I've built my own workbench and stuff like that. And Ryobi is awesome. They are simply awesome tools to have around, for household projects. And again, you're not going to break the bank buying them. They're well priced. A lot of times you can get a full kit with drills, a couple of batteries, maybe a saw, a flashlight, things basic tools you're going to need. And you can get that whole kit for maybe the same price that you would buy a Milwaukee drill without a battery. But again, you're talking about homeowner used tools compared to contractor used tools. So there is a difference there. It depends on what your needs are. And as far as Ridgid, same thing. These are great tools for projects around the house, but you can use these to a degree for contractor use. They are very well built, and Ridgid offers, like no other tool out there, Ridgid has the lifetime warranty on these, where basically you'll never have to buy a battery again. When these run out, when these die out, you send them in your receipt and proof of purchase and all that, and you'll get free batteries, you'll get free service on the tool, and free parts. So you don't get a free drill if the drill dies out or whatever, but you can send it in and Ridgid will repair it for free. No other tool company out there offers that kind of deal. So it kind of tells you what Ridgid thinks of their own tools. They think very highly of them, and they know they're made well. That's why they offer that deal. Most other companies you're going to get are going to have the 3 to maybe 5 year warranties, such as Ryobi. They have a 3-year warranty on their tools. But as far as warranties go, nothing compares to the Ridgids. So anyway, that was the comparison I wanted to do, just to give you a little rundown on these hammer drills. And right now, to my knowledge at least, this one is they still have an awesome sale going on this one. I picked this one up, ironically, I was looking for just a battery and a charger for an old Ridgid Impact my friend gave to me, but he had no battery and charger for it, so I need a battery and a charger. And I went to purchase that and discovered this for the same price that I would have paid for one battery and a charger. This came as a kit. You got obviously the hammer drill. You got the one battery here. I got a second battery and the charger. No bag, but the whole kit was $99. Compared to one battery and a charger for $99. So something to look into. This deal is still going on to my knowledge. So maybe shoot down the Home Depot and look for it. They may not have it on display. You'd have to probably ask about it. I found this up on the top shelf, where you couldn't even see it or anything, and I went and did a price check, and there it was. So check that out if you get a chance. I believe the Ryobi one, I got this as a kit also, but at the time I bought it, they had a special on it. Right now, I believe the going price for this is $149. You get this, 2 batteries, charger, and the bag for $149. So either way you go, you can't go wrong. Anyway, that was my little comparison on the 2 hammer drills. Get over to Home Depot and check them out. Alright, Rich Reviews signing off. Take care.